Boom, I'm in the room. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from. Welcome to Everyday Conversations regarding mental health. Now, today, I want to have a chat about something slightly different. I want to look at solitary confinement and the effects that has on a person's mental well-being. Now, this channel is all about mental health, taking the stigma out of mental health, and trying to get people talking about it. Now, in the news, what's happened is a young fella that's become a bit of a cult hero has been locked up for telling the truth. Now, you all know this bloke, Tommy Robinson. His crime at the moment, he's been jailed for 18 months. 9 months, he's going to serve 9 months at the moment in solitary confinement. He's been locked up for telling the truth. He's been locked up for showing the establishment for telling porkies. So Tommy Robinson is now in Belmarsh Prison, the most secure prison in the country, that houses some of the most notorious villains, terrorists, and all kind of nasty people. Now, there's a bit of stuff going on in the news at the moment about him, and the governor in Belmarsh Prison talking about putting him up onto the wing with all the nasty people that will do for him. Without a doubt, if he goes on the general wing, he probably won't last a day before somebody's had a go at him or slotted him. So he's got a choice. He goes on 43 wing, whatever that is, and be in isolation with all the nonces, all the perverts, the child killers, the paedophiles. Well, the paedophiles that are in prison. That's if they haven't let them out yet. So, or he can go down a hole. Now, if it goes down a hole, I mean, that is a whole barrel of monkeys to itself. Apparently, I don't know this for sure, because I ain't been in there. I ain't been to prison. It's I've been in the military, Nick, but not the glass house. When I was a young soldier, I got locked up a couple of times for misdemeanors. And yeah, it wasn't fun, wasn't clever, and it was brutal, to be honest. But it wasn't solitary confinement, not like what Tommy's going to be going through, and anybody else actually that's locked up in solitary confinement. You've got, I mean, over the decades, I mean, well, you've got those Jews that are at the hands of Hamas at the moment. They're probably all locked up in solitary confinement. You've got Terry Waite. He was locked up for several years in solitary confinement. That has a toll on your mental well-being. Whichever way you look at it, it's going to take a toll on your mental well-being. You're not going to be in the best mental well-being when you come out. It's going to have an effect. Now, there's lots of ways of looking at it. If he's like they're saying, he's going to be on a wing where he's got access to a television, he's got access to books and stuff like that, then he can keep himself occupied, because he's going to be banged up for sort of 22, 23 hours a day, to be honest. That's what solitary confinement means. If it goes down in a hole, apparently that's a whole nightmare. There's no bedding down there. You've got a bucket or something to piss and poo in. And you're banged up there. The lights on 24/7. Yeah, totally different thing altogether. That's torture. And that, if he gets banged up in there, is going to take its toll. The last time he was in prison, he lost a lot of weight. It had a big effect on his mental well-being. He's got to be worried about people getting to him to start with, because there's a lot of people, love or hate him, he's a Marmite character. And he's a Marmite character because he hasn't got a filter. He tells the truth. He does proper investigative journalism that most of these journalists nowadays don't. So that's a concern. So, and people can get to him. People can get to his food. They can poison him. Now, there's a lot been said about the governor. What's her name? Joe Louis or something. Female. Apparently, she doesn't like him. But and there's lots of rumours coming out. Take no notice of them. What'll happen will happen. I mean, if he's fortunate, they're talking about it, they've got moving for monetary reasons, for budgetary reasons. Well, if they've got people locked up on the 43 wings anyway, what's the difference with one more? Just means they're locked up for a bit longer. Tommy said on his way in that he'll deal with it different this time. He'll do his best to fulfil his time with reading, with researching. Apparently, he's got access to Twitter, so he can keep in contact that way. They're also saying that all his visitors are going to be behind glass. Well, my experience of visiting in the prison is that, particularly that prison, I have visited somebody in there in the past. It's like a big room with desks, and you sit either side of a desk. He's not going to be allowed that privilege, apparently. I don't know the truth. There's lots of rumours coming out. But whatever happens, it's going to take its toll on his mental well-being. And I don't know whether he's got access to people able to write to him so he can receive letters. I don't know what the regime for that is, whether you can write letters of support or whatever. I don't know. Those sort of things help when you know that there's people outside that care for you, that are rooting for you. That will help his mental well-being. Like anybody else that's in solitary confinement. Solitary confinement is hard, especially if you haven't got anything to do, especially if you're worried for your own safety. Many, many things are going to be going through his mind. Many, many things are going to worry him. Many, many things are going to worry his nearest and dearest, and everybody else that supports him. And if the worst case scenario happens and he gets put on a general wing and he doesn't survive, they will turn him into a martyr. And that's the last thing anybody wants. The old jihadis have enough of those, don't they? We don't need one. But all joking aside, Tommy has got a tough 9 months ahead of him. Fortunately, he's only got 9 months. And for us outside, 9 months will flash by. For those that's inside, it'll drag. I just hope that he approaches it different this time, like he said. I just hope that he's got the wherewithal to be able to stand the isolation, to be able to fill his time, to be able to come out of there in one piece. So there you go. That's my thoughts on on the problems that he faces in solitary confinement. But if you haven't seen this channel before, I talk about all different stuff. I've been covering the marches, and I did the Portsmouth ones, and I've done the one last week in London, and I talk about people's mental health, mental well-being from different angles, and there's not anything we won't discuss on this channel. Normally I have guests on and we talk about different aspects of mental health, mental well-being, and what we're trying to do is take the stigma out of it. So if you like what I do, give the old smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, and the bell notifications and all the rest of it. I will be going up to Portsmouth this weekend on Saturday to cover that. I'll try and get a balanced view from both sides, like I tried to do on the last one. It depends on whether they recognise me again on that. Yeah, it didn't go well, shall we say. Anyway, thank you for your time. If you like what I do, please support the channel. So until the next one, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.